call the meeting to order. Stand up, pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any comments from the assembly? Okay. Correspondence you have in front of you. Did you want to ask a question about the correspondence for the Republic Services?
I noticed that we got a rate increase on Republic, but I'm pretty sure we get all of our dumpsters.
Yeah, it's just for those that do have them as.
Okay, that just went out as, okay.
Okay.
Any other questions on correspondence? Okay, minutes of the previous meeting, November 9th.
Make a motion to approve November 9th meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
November 22nd, 2022. Unless you show up.
Ladies.
Make a motion to accept November 22nd.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
You have your treasurer's report from December 14th.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report for December 14th.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Transfers needed. So you have a paper in front of you on 12/6, she transferred 60,000 to cover the payroll. Today, 12/14, transferred 170,000 from the savings to cover the bills for December meeting. The escrow funds were transferred for 106,645.29 on 11/30 to cover the check being approved at tonight's meeting, which is why the balance for the bills is so high. She also made calls regarding CDs, which I think we'll just hold off until she can call in, and we'll go over those rates then. And then she has some suggestions for us. So, anybody wants to approve the transfers to cover the bills?
I'll make motion to approve the transfer.
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Expense list?
Same.
Oh, yeah.
I think we had talked earlier too about end of year transfers, so it should be done before the end of the year. She
Which
said,
transfer?
end of year, so it should be, she said around 90,000 that could go into the accrual fund. Does she have that on there?
No, not on this. Oh, underneath all of it, down
Okay.
here at the bottom. I thought that was advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe and I discussed transfer your end accrual, 90,000. This being with PW capital purchase, snow and ice and bridges.
I think it was 50 to snow and ice and 40 bridge. Is that it?
She didn't break it out, but
Okay.
she has both here for a total of 90,000.
Okay. The end of the year, usually the board.
Right, we
goes through
transfer the
that.
money to the accrual account.
Yeah, looking at the budget, there was money in capital for maintenance that wasn't used, so that
Okay,
would be
so-
part of it.
Well, do we have to wait for that till she
No,
decides where she's gonna put it?
She knows where she's gonna put it into the snow and ice and the bridges.
Right,
Okay.
50 and,
Snow and ice.
I'll make the motion to transfer the end of the year
I'll second
90,000.
that.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for catching that.
If there's any questions or concerns, I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Business, Park and Rec Halloween contest winner. So we have a plaque to give out, or a certificate? We do, and that would be for Jen and Andrew, how do you pronounce your last name? Dangle.
So we would, on behalf of the Park and Rec Committee for Carnarvon Township, we'd just like to recognize you for a job very, very well done. For those of you who did not see the display, it was phenomenal. The 12-foot skeleton with blinking eyes, they had a rotisserie, it just from soup to nuts, there was everything there. So again, we very much appreciate it. I know that you've received your grill already that was donated by Lowe's. We'd also like to present you with this plaque.
Thank you so much.
We have more stuff planned.
Oh my goodness. Do we have a photo posted on our website with the house?
We did post a
You
photo
did
the
post it?
the night that we announced it. I posted a photo, and we'll also put on the, Cole is getting the engraved piece for the
Okay.
plaque out here. And we can give you the picture to slip in out here too.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Morgantown Road Commercial Land Development Plan. Planning Commission recommendation.
The planning commission at the last meeting did make a motion for, conditional final approval. There are still a few items left on the letter that we felt were appropriate to have those addressed prior to bringing it to the board. The past couple days have been really diligent about trying to get that to happen, but it just wasn't enough time for us to go through it, so I expect them at the next meeting to be able to.
Can you,
Greenlight,
can you see that I got a copy of that, Frank? Do you have an extra copy?
Yeah.
Greenlight Go grant application.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I know we've been talking about this with, well, more or less the traffic signals and improvements and I think through some of the projects going on right now, there's been others talking about how long some of the time's been since they've been updated. There is a 20% match for the Greenlight Go program, but it is a good program, and I think for what we're looking at on Main Street, all the way up and down, just for updating that, retiming, and another one would be the Twin Valley intersection, and we've been talking about that as issues. I think a lot of that could go into an application and really be a huge benefit. I mean,
Are all the lights updated with backup power, didn't we?
No,
No.
176 Main Street and Route 10 and Valley Road.
Can that be a part of it?
you can include, basically,
It's
it's
something we
for
wanna
any,
do, right?
anything traffic signal update. It doesn't like the roadway improvements as much as the focus,
Right.
but I think controllers are, at this point, very well outdated.
Yes, some of them are obsolete.
But you're gonna get into, the lights probably are not all that, as up to date on LEDs as they should be.
They're not LEDs, we're still in the pavement traffic loops. So that's the biggest downfall. They were just here and did the PMs, and I spent a substantial amount of time with this service tech. We're working on a lot of EMS emergency preemption. The Twin Valley light doesn't work at all in any direction, and they're getting me a quote for that. But don't hold me to it. But that's 6,000. Converting them to the generators is a small expense compared to some of the other stuff. But
Well, what about, because we had so many problems with that loop there, can we go to a camera at Twin Valley?
well, you should consider at some point an upgrade to that. That one doesn't have a setback loop in it, so you don't have a lot of leeway with changing or making timing changes. I'm still working with CM High. We did tweak the light at 176 again. I still see a backlog here in this westbound lane every day, backing up to here from that signal. So we're trying to tweak that one as best we can without getting into studies and that sort of thing, but if we can get in with a grant program to cover it.
So if we do this grant, do we have to immediately have this done for 2024, 23, you know what I mean, are we on a time frame then?
Right now, the cycle is due at the end of January. And it's just not gonna happen, because there's a pre-application form that has to be filled out by December 23rd. That has to have everything identified, what you're doing, plus your match, saying, yeah, we have, it's just not gonna happen. One of the big things too is, they call it the, TSAMs, and to say what it stands for, I can't remember, but it's basically an online inventory of everything for the traffic signals, everything. And they have to have that updated to go into the application process. So I think at this point, probably the best thing to do is to check with CM High and see how much of the intersections have that, if any, and probably get that inventory updated, because it has to be anyway. But at the same time, I think we ought to coordinate with them and say, what's the biggest bang for the buck here? Because that inventory is gonna identify everything that's out of date. And that's what the whole program is supposed to do, is bring everything up to date and add what you can to the intersections, better times, and make them more
When's the
efficient.
next time they open this up again?
That's how I was gonna.
Is it
It's gonna be
quarterly?
like, it'll be about
Every year?
another 6 months.
Okay,
It's
so
usually twice a year, I
we should
think,
start
they aim
planning
for,
for
but.
the next 6 months. So in 3 months, we wanna start pre-filling the pre-app out and have everything in order and ready to go.
Yeah, I think if that's something everybody's on board for, I think we would say, let's authorize to move forward with having Keith coordinate with CM High on what do you have for that inventory, where do we stand, get a report, and then if they need to update that and get everybody registered, take
Yeah.
that step, and then we can figure out where we wanna.
Once we commit to a certain amount, then.
Once you put it into the
When do we have to
application,
spend that by? Does it have to be done by the end of the year? Or
When
they
you-
gotta give us a full year from the time we commit?
when you get selected, if you put into the application, once you get selected, I think it's 2 years from
Okay,
that time.
cause we need to rebudget it for next year's
Yeah,
budget.
it would be, there is some time in between.
Okay.
Well,
Now
so we're
and-
looking at prices for 23 and 401.
They'll match 20%, right?
Well, I know that we had talked to Gary McEwen once before about even talking to the school about helping with that one because of the elementary center.
Yeah, yeah, and there's the other possible development that's getting proposed right now on the other side of that intersection. In my opinion, if they put a leg in,
Start with what we actually need and the maintenance on what we have.
that one is
And
a
then
slippery
try and
slope
slip-
as far as,
Yeah,
once it gets identified, then you're on the hook.
right.
We had that conversation with PennDOT, and that's gonna be a touchy
Well, it's
situation once
been
that
an
gets going.
ongoing issue with traffic there every day, so.
Yeah, does it need to happen, yes. But as far as, I think as far as the intersections and where could we best go after money for the signals, I mean, really, they have to be updated, so I think going after the grant, it's just a good decision, cause you're gonna only have to pay 20%.
Okay, so we start prepping for it and.
And that's why I'm saying the light, if we only have to pay 20%, we have help from the school, why not do it all at once?
So the other thing is,
We only
if,
do it for 2 years,
What do you
right?
mean we only have to pay 20%?
It's a 20% match.
I don't
right?
think for a new,
yeah, you can go
Maybe for
after,
a new light?
yeah, you can go after new light as well. You
That's
can
what I mean,
actually-
I think, why not do it all, we can get help from the school, maybe.
So if they only match 20%,
yeah, that's not a lot of money in the overall.
So then you're paying 60%.
right,
Actually, you're paying 80%, they're
yeah.
giving you 20%.
right,
Honestly, in the description for what type of projects, the frequently asked questions section they have, it says only existing traffic signal maintenance and operation improvements are eligible. So I
okay,
don't even know if the new
All right,
signal
so
will
that
be
comes-
part of it.
But,
alright.
why don't you tell us that from the start?
We should just move forward. I think everybody on board with moving
Should've showed up
forward with
on
this to
time.
get on to the next one. Okay.
I was
So-
looking at it too.
I think they have CM High
We're late.
tell us where we're at,
Okay,
and that's probably the best step to do first.
alright. Resolution for approval, 2022-54 rescue funds appropriations.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2022-54.
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2022-55 adopting the budget for 2023.
I'll make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
adopting the streetlight tax rates for 2023. That'd be 2022-56. And these are the same, correct? Same as last year, nothing's changed on them.
I'll make a motion for 2022-56.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
2022-57, setting tax rates for 2023. So, this is the one where we discussed the levy. Did everyone read their email on why we should consider waiting to change this? Is everyone okay with that?
Don't we do these at reorganization?
No, the county has to know by the end of December. So they can start printing their tax bills.
No, I did not have a question.
The tax rate hasn't changed, right? I'll make a motion to accept 2022-57.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
2022-58 appropriations of 250th anniversary accrual funds, winter banners.
I'll make a motion to accept 22-58.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Advertising auditor for 2022 records.
So I have a few quotes. I think at this point, if we're still not ready to pick one, I have like 2 more I'm waiting to hear back from.
When do we have to have one chosen by?
I think you probably have to do it by maybe your January regular meeting, cause we have to advertise it, I think like 30 days before
Okay.
they're approved.
What happened to RKL? Did they back out? RKL back out?
No, I think each year the board considers evaluating, you know, do you
So we
want
can
to
stay
stay
with
with
them?
them? You can.
Well, they've been with us for how long?
Now, our final report, I got an email today, usually they're done by
They're still not done.
April, they were short-staffed. I'm hoping things improve there, but this is
Is that
very
still
late.
is that still coming off the Jack Reesemer stuff too?
That would be
They have
for
a
the
whole year.
2021 records.
Oh, okay, that's
Yes.
still the manual.
Yeah,
So that's
Yeah.
what probably takes so
Okay.
long with
So
that.
why don't we wait and then list their price on here,
okay.
Yeah.
and then we'll talk to the accountant and ask her advice on who they work well with.
Well, she did recommend one, she, you know, did ask around, but, he's coming her area a couple hours away,
Okay.
so.
We'll
but-
wait,
Let's get
wait for the other,
Okay.
and then we'll do as a whole, and then we'll discuss it with the accountant, and we'll make a decision.
Mm,
Is everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Signal for clock tower. Oh, wait, hold on. The CM high traffic approvals, the clock tower plaza.
yeah, it's your typical,
The same, okay.
This
And
is
no
how,
one-
this, we've been doing this for years, they
Yeah.
come in 2 times annually and just go over them and make sure they're all operating per the codes or per the permits.
And do we need to do each of these separately?
No,
No.
we do it all once.
Anyone have any questions on the 3? It'd be Morgantown Road to McDonald, Route 23 and 10, Morgan Way Valley, Crossing Boulevard Heritage, and Twin Valley.
I'll make a motion for CMI.
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Sheds Unlimited road closure update, any update?
I mean, I can give you the little bit I have tonight. As far as when it's gonna happen, I still don't know. They said that we should know by the middle of the month whether or not the, meter pit's gonna be ready. My question is, and I gave this to you, right? I'm not sure if you guys are just looking for detour signs and then arrows and that's it, or did you want something more specific, like I have here? And the other thing, I'm still not exactly sure where the water line is at, what's this gentleman? And let's give or take, they have some blue lines painted now, they think they know where it's at. The excavator says if you know exactly where the water line is, we schedule the tap for 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we have the tap in across Valley Ponds the first day. If we don't, it'll probably be day 2, so there you go, 2 days if we get closure, but that just gets us across Valley Ponds, and we could also direct the traffic around the bottom. We have a 53-foot right-of-way for the road, which is 26.5 feet, the road is 11 feet wide. There's a few things, I'm bringing that up because being the road 11 feet, and if they want it right beside the road, that means the tail swing of our excavators is all the way across the road, so we're gonna need a road closure. I'm proposing, and I don't know if this is gonna work with the chief, we talked about this before, a Monday till Saturday closure. Not possible.
Impossible. That's really pushing it.
And you'll give us what you can, and of course we can, if we know exactly where the pipe is, we don't know that until we start digging.
You're saying close it for the day and night, or you're saying working hours?
Just complete road
I
closure
would say
from Monday to
Monday,
Saturday.
yeah. That's what they would like to have, but can you
That's a
give us?
major,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just-
gonna say, no way, because the entire industrial park dumps out there.
We're gonna have
They
gridlock.
can't plate it at night?
Oh, we're only gonna cross, that'll probably be a day, it's just all
No,
the
you're saying you
activity.
wanna close it from Saturday to Monday, or
From
Monday to
Monday to
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
I mean, you're talking day and night,
No, just on,
just during.
and then it would be plated at night when we cross the road, so basically we have the
that's a little
action,
So
different.
just during the
That's
day?
different.
just during the day, yeah.
Okay, during the day, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot different than closing it.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're looking for the detour to be from Monday
Monday
to
to
Saturday.
But wait a minute,
Be
though, what-
open at night,
What
plate.
times would you say,
I'm gonna
what are
say
you considering daytime closure?
7 to 5, I'd say.
Well, most PennDOT roads are 9 to 3. Is that way you miss
I mean,
morning
if that's
rush?
what you
You
want,
miss morning rush and then you hit.
Because
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock, that industrial park dumps out,
yeah.
and there's traffic from in the industrial park all the way up to your red light, so.
That's
would
why it's
be
9
day.
9 to 3.
They would have to dump out on the other, on
Twin Valley,
Twin Valley,
and that would cause gridlock with
I don't
trucks
know.
making that turn.
You don't know if the trucks are coming out of there at that time, are they? Or is it
Well,
just
if they
employees?
do, we're gonna be in trouble.
Singers in and out.
We have in our,
comments, don't
to
there?
use Heritage Drive, that's also,
No,
and
Valley Road.
yes, my place is using,
They're not using Valley, but you're gonna put all the truck traffic for the whole industrial park
right.
down there.
Okay.
So you have trucks coming in and out that are going down, Valley Road on a daily basis.
And what I fear is they'll try and sneak out the back way, come out here and cause,
So what are you saying? Are
Yeah,
you okay
yeah.
with Monday to Saturday, 9 to 3?
You don't know the location of the water line, right?
yeah.
We don't know how deep it is, correct? Nobody knows how deep it is. So I mean, there's a lot of what ifs that you're not gonna know till you get it opened up.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I would say, I'd be okay with that, but it'd be from 9 to 3. That's just, you know what I mean,
9 to
that way,
3.
the people
And-
get into business and then they get out at the end of the day, but.
There's a few things that play into this as well, if the township says we want it, this isn't all specified, we want it right beside the road. That really hampers things. If they say we want it on the inner edge of the 26.5 feet, we can almost work without, in other words, as we're going beside the road. Of course, when we cross, we have to close.
Have you done any core samples?
Cores
To see what kind of material you're dealing with, because there's rock all down through there.
of- that's the catch, that's the big catch.
Like, did you do any bores or anything
We
to find
didn't
out?
do any bores, no.
So
What-
what if we dig this? What if we do the exploratory dig, cause that's what you're gonna do?
We can do that, but it's not gonna really change it because we can't blast, we have to hammer it out.
But we plan on, well.
We have a 9,000 pound
Cause that'd
hammer
be short
sitting there.
notice.
The thing you said about the moving the location, like, I'm just worried with where it's shown, I think it's shown right on the edge of the roadway,
Yeah.
more or less. Without going back to why everything was planned for it to be along the roadway, I wouldn't wanna move it too much.
Okay,
You start pushing it to the outside edge of the road right away, and then we're up against temporary easements on the property there. I
Okay.
don't know if that's in place or
Not
not,
only that,
so.
is there underground cables in there?
I
I know there is.
There's box right there on the
Yeah.
entrance way.
So
Trying
you're
to
gonna
adjust
get
it
into someone
now, it
else's.
just worries me about what
okay.
went into the planning for it
Yeah.
that.
And those details we don't have yet. And then the only other option, and we're asking for 6 days, and then we know we have to go to traffic control after that, so. If you say, okay, you
Well,
can only
their
have,
safety is a number one concern, without a doubt.
yeah,
I mean, our road crew guys, we shut down roads when they're working on there just because we don't wanna have to deal with traffic
yeah,
and worry about our guys.
yeah,
You're gonna get down there and you might find out that the soil might be unsuitable, and it might be almost impossible to plate, I don't know. It could be undermining the road, we don't know any of that, if you start, jackhammering stuff, but let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I was
kind
gonna
of-
say.
You know,
You guys
let's
were-
just figure in on like, if everybody's okay with it, the 9 to 3, and you can do that for your days that you're talking about.
yeah,
But at night, you gotta make it sound and put some plates down that we can
Yeah.
open the road back up.
yeah.
What about the Saturday request you had?
I mean, we just gotta get it done. I mean, Steve's been,
Saturday
Going by the
is
book.
not, I'm not as concerned Saturday as I am
Does it work?
Monday.
I wouldn't worry about the
through
9 to
It's
3
local
on
people,
Saturday,
they'll get
because I mean, I don't know if the
around.
businesses are even open.
Why
If you
not
have-
I
run
think
them
you have-
over Heritage instead of all the way down Twin Valley to Light, bring them out to Light there at Heritage by Taco Bell?
We has to.
That's what it's gonna be.
Okay, I
Yeah,
apologize.
so
Yeah,
are
it
you
is
looking
going
for
there.
guidance on, I mean, I like the
Yeah.
signs seem.
I think those are
These
fine.
are fine.
I mean, there's gonna be the additional arrow signs.
Yeah, but keep in
They
mind,
have
you're
some-
driving 50
some-
mile an
he
hour down
needs
the
some
road,
more
or 45 mile an hour
Yeah,
down the road,
it's
you're
gonna
not gonna
have
have time to read all this. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true too.
Valley Road detour is all you need.
That's what you want?
That's what I would
That's
say.
clean
Because
and
people
neat.
see it, you get too much on there, you're gonna have to stop to read the sign.
That's what I wanna hear from you. And
Yes.
I see that's the way they mostly direct traffic.
Yes,
Of course,
go
they go
something
state
plain and
roads.
simple, Valley Road detour and arrows wherever you want them to go.
Okay,
And I don't think it would be that big of a deal if we were setting up from 8 to 4, as long as the road, you know what I
Say
mean?
4.
Yeah,
There's-
I think 4 would be okay, cause they get out down there 4:30 to 5, it's a shift change. So, I think
Yeah.
as long as you have the road back open by,
I mean, it all
Before
comes
4:30.
down to rock.
No, we understand, I mean, I know when they put them townhouses in there.
I think there's too much writing on some of those signs.
Yes.
It's fine.
I'm looking for, Steve gets a date, as soon as he's got a date, a road to be under construction sign goes up, as soon as we know when we can get in there,
Absolutely.
and then we just use detours to move them around.
yeah.
The only,
just
the only
detour.
one that will need a little more is where they have to know to turn onto Heritage,
If you want it.
so they
Yeah,
don't
so-
miss it.
Yeah, but you just
Work
put an
out.
arrow with a sign, Valley Road detour.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but something to say, Valley Road closed ahead, use detour. There's a little more language there that, I agree with you that most of these can just be
Okay.
Valley Road detour. I think
You
that
could
one,
just put Valley Road closed.
short of that, if you get,
Valley
if
Road
they go
detour.
past it, then they gotta figure out how to turn back around and. then
Once again,
you do
most
that.
people back in there, they know how to get out of there,
I agree,
right,
but
so,
I think most of them, yeah, are
Okay.
cutting
alright,
down.
well,
We'll make some changes, and actually, since I put this together, I've been watching some road signs, and I see that detour arrow, it's
Yeah,
all they
don't,
get
don't
up.
make it too much.
And I didn't
Yeah,
have, when we get
to
to local roads, we change that, because when the state does it, it's from 23 to 322, you know,
No,
it's pretty
it's,
long way
that's,
around.
no, that's,
So-
they have to put it that way, I think
Yeah.
the local detour
I
is
guess you know
just
you
a
have rock,
detour.
I would see you crush right there.
That's the thing, it just depends what we hit, I mean, it's,
You
the
should start selling
interesting
stone.
thing about it is, we'll dig 15 feet and hit rock, and we'll go 5 feet beside it, and there's not a rock there, there's a lot of digging.
Well, when they
down
put the
there.
townhouses in, that's what happened to the first guy, he went in there and decided he promised everybody basements. And he hit solid rock, so he
Is
went
that
bankrupt
right?
trying to blast, that was the first builder when he
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And all through this entire area, there's pinnacles
Yeah,
and valleys in
Yeah.
that rock.
yeah, okay.
You never know where they're at.
Okay,
All
very
right,
good. We'll
thank
make a
you.
few changes to the signs and we'll submit that. and we'll work with
Yeah,
that.
plain and simple.
any updates on South Twin Valley Road right away, the truck traffic study?
As far as the right of way, there's not anything to update on it right
Okay.
now.
Climber Hill Road, extension of road, that's just on here, anybody have anything to add? Okay.
There was gonna be a possible easement from the gas that was gonna be provided, but I still haven't seen that.
That's our 10 bridge replacement project, public comments closed December 19th, 2022.
Do we have any say in that whatsoever, because state road?
Yeah, they're asking for the public comment by the 19th, and they're.
Well, I was thinking about, like, even coming off the turnpike, can they put signs up there and just stop them from going 10 north? I mean,
What were you thinking?
coming off the turnpike, the ramp, to go 10 south, I mean, oh no, 10 north.
The 10 north.
Just put something there to say,
Yeah, I mean,
Go
they're gonna have to
truck
block
traffic.
off that
Or they
ramp
could even,
altogether.
Well,
they
yeah,
could
they-
even say, 10 north closed, you know, detour, and take them up to.
'Cause that's where you get a majority of your truck traffic.
Well, if you look at the detour that they're proposing on the
I
study,
haven't seen it.
we've talked, and basically, truck traffic will go north on 176 to Flying Hills.
it's
Yeah.
Green
And
Hills.
come, Green Hills,
That
I'm
was
sorry,
what-
and
yeah, I
come
looked
back
at it.
down south. Car traffic, they wanna push on all car traffic onto Quarry Road and then a left onto Morgan Way. We've talked, the three of us, and we oppose it.
Yeah, I
think
don't like that.
The traffic on Quarry Road and Morgan Way already on a normal day is already peaking
Well, I
out.
agree, but if you don't shut that ramp to the north coming off the turnpike, your truck traffic's gonna go down there, then what do they do?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Then they're all gonna go Quarry Road.
if I looked at that correct, I think there's signage that you wanna be up on at the toll plaza.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to.
But I would even block it off for cars to come off
Yes.
the turnpike
Right,
and
there's
go
no
I
way to
agree,
use it, you can't
because
go
that'll
anywhere.
deter the cars to go onto Quarry Road as well.
Well, one of the suggestions Scott was having that we would push the detour of car traffic to 10 south, 23 east, to Twin Valley, up Twin Valley and back out Overset Road.
Right.
And I think he was looking for guidance, or Scott and Keith and myself were looking for guidance
Yeah,
and support from the board as to what direction, if you want Scott to make a statement on the behalf of the township to PennDOT.
I would just suggest closing off that whole ramp on 10 north off the turnpike.
And they could do Morgan Way or Twin Valley Road.
I mean, if they come off that ramp, but then, oh, it splits is what you're saying.
No, you go 10 north is one way, or go straight ahead across the bridge and hit 10 south, Cloverleaf.
Right.
Cause the tractor trailer comes off the turnpike,
Yeah,
go that way, you
There's-
gotta
there's
place
nowhere
nowhere
to
to
go.
you
go.
have to,
Yeah, he's the
And he's
only.
gonna hit Quarry Road, but
So-
that
And
would
he
deter
can't
all,
turn.
Close that
but
whole
that would
thing.
deter all the car traffic that comes off the
Correct.
turnpike, because at the end of the day, I mean, there's tons of cars come off there and hit Quarry Road.
so I
They can
agree
go all
with that,
through
but
town.
I think in addition to asking for that, we asked them to push it down 10 to Main Street, just as the chief said, and list it as it's already got enough traffic. That intersection at Quarry and Morgan Way is bad. You've got the crosswalks at Morgan Corporation, and you're just adding all the volume of every car coming off the turnpike to this, so
That's a
I
good
think
point.
there's,
But you're
You can't
saying,
shut-
they're
You
saying
can't shut
10
that ramp
days.
down for the dump.
Is that what I heard, 10 days to replace that?
It's true. Trash,
Oh, that's right, the
trash trucks coming
that
off
exit is on that
would be an
side.
issue.
But you could put
for
trash
blocking
trucks
that ramp.
only.
True.
They could put a sign that says trash trucks only.
Conestoga landfill traffic.
Conestoga landfill only, whatever.
I-
Can you
Closed
suggest that
signs.
to them, or?
Well,
Or is that-
should Scott enter on the behalf of the township, or should Sandy sign off something as the chairperson, supervisors?
Can a trash truck go to Cloverleaf to go 10 south and then at the end of the ramp kind of just go down?
No, this is not supposed to
That'd
make
be
the left.
dangerous.
Yeah, you can't make the left there.
I mean,
We'll
You
have
could
more
just put
crashes.
Conestoga landfill trucks and cars only.
And you know what would also be is you just close Quarry Road. If you close Quarry Road, then nobody can go down Quarry Road except for Morgan. Then Morgan can run their trucks down Quarry to their safe, and other than that, nobody's using Quarry Road.
it's not a bad idea. Just shut
Put
Quarry
road
on.
closed
and
signs
say
up
we're not
and leave
gonna-
a spot in between.
We don't
for
want the
cars.
added
That way you won't
problems
get
on the
trucks
local
down there.
roads and say,
I'm okay with that.
I would say that this, they sent a specific email to Joan so that the municipality has, not just it's posted online, go look at it. I think we can comment online, and I can put that together with everything we're talking here, but follow up on the email that was sent specifically to the township on. Hey, we'd like to have more conversations about the off-ramps from the turnpike, Quarry Road in general, and, the trash trucks that need to get up to the dump and how it should be handled.
Are they putting a box culvert in?
That's what it seems like.
Take 10 days to do it. so
Yeah.
The only way I could see them doing that is unless they're gonna use the same abutments there and just replace the steel.
And they are, it's a superstructure, which means they are using the same.
Cause I mean, even a box culvert, they're not gonna get that done in 10 days.
No, yeah, it seems ambitious, but,
I mean, the good part is we got time because it's not till 2024.
yeah,
So it's not like next week that they're closing it.
yeah.
Okay.
So I would say then, I'll submit something online, but then also follow up and just ask for further coordination.
Okay. Water and sewer COVID ARPA grant, request for approval letter. I thought this was already,
So they asked for this a couple years ago from, what the authority was saying. They're asking for it again. It does not affect the public roads at all for what they're asking. It's, I think it's all,
it just started back December of 2019.
I saw
They-
the
Yeah,
picture,
they
it had Alan's signature on it
Yeah.
from Jeremy.
they didn't get the grant at that time, they're reapplying. So
So
their
we can
thought
use the
was,
same letters though,
I think, just update the letters and,
with the new chairman?
yeah.
We need a motion for that?
And,
I'll make a motion to make a new letter and have Sandy sign.
Second.
motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Stormwater drainage updates, Rock Ridge. Any updates?
Oh my gosh, which one's that? No,
No? Okay. Next one, 91 Broad Axe Pass stormwater complaint update.
I, after the last meeting, I told Ann I was gonna try to meet up with her when it rained and go through some of the other issues, and I just hadn't been able
See
to
you
do
tomorrow
so.
afternoon.
I'm out there tomorrow.
Red Carpet Inn,
I thought that was done.
This is a new one, I don't know anything about that one. Who brought that one to the,
I don't know. Did they have a complaint?
oh, okay, yes. She's saying they're still having issues.
What,
From what I
what kind
remember,
of
Terry-
issues?
The water issues and stuff. So she went home back to her country for a little bit, she'll be back in then. So I just want to let you know she's gonna be in here, letting us know that they're still having issues.
Well,
So whatever they
because we haven't
did,
seen her, I just figured it was taken care of. I thought when they mowed that and did all that, it was done.
I thought that's what Terry said, they brought it up to what was her plan for when it got
Right.
approved. That doesn't necessarily have great release rates from back when that was,
right,
which is
So-
kind of a problem, but they brought it up to what they needed to, and I think there was even, the other field behind, the dealership,
Yes.
whoever owned that, somebody was
Well
maintaining
done.
that.
so it
too.
wasn't so much a complaint, she stopped and told me that she's gonna be coming back, and it wasn't taken care of, and she's gonna be coming into.
Well, if, from a legal point of view though, if it's in per plan, we can't make them change that, correct?
If it becomes a nuisance or, we have to go through that whole process of
Yeah.
determining that it was a public nuisance or.
But is this
being
something
developed.
that she would have to do some grading around her place?
Maybe in order to resolve the issue, yeah.
Okay, so just a heads up.
Do you wanna prepare yourself for that?
I was gonna say, yeah, I think, I think that's probably talk to Terry on where it got left and just bring it back up
I
to
say
speed.
have you out, take a look at it,
Yeah,
see
I
what
would,
comes up with.
XTO, plan review deadline December 31st, anything needs to be done on that?
They had a letter today, providing a time extension of June 30th, 2023. That's for the full land development plan, just to be clear, so they're providing that, and that would be for the board to accept that.
Now, they're
Time
cleaning the lot
extension.
up now, right?
That's basically to clean that up.
Yeah.
And just bring it to a stable condition that the township and the conservation district will say.
Well, that's fine and dandy, but you know as well as I do, you're past the point of growing season, so you're not gonna be able to grow anything on there, so they're gonna disturb this and let it sit bare.
They are coming back in the
Hay matter.
spring. They have to, yeah, they have to hay matter. They have to do something for now, but they're coming back in the spring.
Okay.
That was part of the agreement there.
Do we need to grant something, or what?
This is
just
to
a
acknowledge-
notification? Just-
Acknowledge, or do they approve,
Acknowledges good.
acknowledge the time extension of June 30th, 2023 for the land development plan?
Anybody wanna acknowledge that?
No.
Do I have a second not to acknowledge that? Anybody wanna acknowledge it?
I'll allow it.
I have an acknowledgement, another one?
I'm not quite sure, this is the one,
Shiloh.
Shiloh.
as long as they come back and finish the project, I don't have a problem. We have that in writing.
Well, so what they're doing now is That's just the site improvements to put in stormwater and grade it. But since they don't see this moving forward real soon, they're trying to just stabilize it and back away from that plan. This is for the overall land development, of putting the building in there. There's been, it keeps getting delayed because of that. The multimodal grant he went after to try to redo, help me out, Shiloh where it hits. 10. So, everything seems to be on hold right now, and that's why the extension is for the overall land development plan.
See, to give you guys both weren't here when it happened. We allowed him to do site improvements to that lot. Normally, we wouldn't do that, but he was begging us for the most part because he didn't wanna lose his tenant, and he wanted to show them he was making progress, so we allowed him to do site improvements, even though there were some plans that weren't done, correct?
Yep.
So we let him do it, but then, this was all tentative on if he could get the approval for the road. Well, he's running into issues with the road because he has to put a turning lane for trucks. It's on a turn, there's not enough room between the turnpike, cause we all went out and measured it. So he had a lobbyist lawyer, if you will, went to the governor's office, had the governor call us, did he not? Thinking that was gonna like try to scare us into letting them do this, but no, we stood our ground. The guy's been a bonehead from day one, I mean, no doubt about it. I'm not afraid to say it, he is. So, I mean, I don't wanna extend it.
Well, we do acknowledge it now.
I think the way Eric has kind of looked at this was, the township was in support of the multimodal grant, and until that happens to fall through or go away, it's grant the extensions and try to let him finish this out until that disappears, and I think at the time that disappears, or they just cancel that project, then it's a little bit of a different decision.
But then the problem is, he couldn't even finish the site improvements because he come up short on dirt, so he left it a mess, that we gotta look at. So he went in and told them that they gotta clean it up, and they were dragging their feet, for how long?
But
A
not
year.
acknowledging
This
this
year.
is not gonna help anything.
Oh, no, you guys can do it, I can disagree with it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I
saying,
know.
I'm just saying,
I
you,
know.
okay, we have a 1, 2, everyone in agreement? Aye.
Alright,
Well,
No. Oh, no. Okay, Fall Road inspection item, follow-up, Morgan Way stormwater matter. Anything on that?
That's the drain pipe there, we're gonna.
Basically televised.
They were gonna do something with that small pipe that runs from the small,
From the inlet to the
from the inlet to the
questionable.
pipe.
Yeah.
They were gonna take care of that.
Okay. North Twin Valley Road, area of Elverson and Joanna Road, traffic study options. Did we?
We
did
haven't
anything on
really
that, or we waiting?
formalized anything
Okay.
yet, we're still looking into
Okay.
some options on that.
North Twin Valley Road drainage matter.
We're working on survey on that one.
Okay.
It's kind of a slow process for the
No
survey.
parking ordinance, comparison of ordinance and deed info.
We're still
We have
gathering,
on that?
we're gathering
Working?
information.
Okay. Plum Road, pond maintenance update, anything on that one?
We made contact with one of the HOH, but I don't know that there's been a response.
Okay. Cell phone policy draft. Did these need signed yet, or did you get all of them? Or we're just now getting to the,
Well, the liaisons for the police department met with those that are here that have cell phones issued by the township, and so there's some concerns about some of the items on here. So if the board doesn't mind,
Which one?
take a look at it, each of the items.
okay.
Yeah, I never got a copy of it, he dropped a copy off, and I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Okay, so we're to review this so we can come back to it. Okay. Call out time.
I think there was a question about
There
how
was,
that's paid out.
so I think our intent was, well,
to the best of my knowledge, from what we talked about, if they get called out, it's 2 hours of overtime.
on any, as long as they left work and they have to be called back in, that's a call out time.
Right.
but we don't have it written properly, I guess that's.
I think there
So we
was some
need-
issue with the
We
language.
need to get that cleaned up, so it's,
Okay.
so the accounting and that can follow what's in the books. Does everyone agree that's what we,
Absolutely.
that was our
I agree.
intention, but
Absolutely.
it didn't get worded correctly, so if everyone's okay, we'll have that corrected. Was there anything else that we came across in there? I think that was the only thing we had,
I
right?
think that was
Okay.
the only question, and one of the guys brought it to our attention,
Right.
we didn't
Right,
realize
we
it.
won't know until someone brings it to us, so, okay, so we'll get that corrected.
So you want it to be 2 hours minimum at the OT rate?
Correct.
So like,
You get called out,
it's a 15-minute call out, 10 minute, 5 minutes, whatever, it's paid 2
2
hours
hours per
minimum.
call out, correct.
Right. So
Plus
that'll take-
OT. Now that's going forward, I guess, right? Yes.
Well, we just put this before, so, I mean, so
Let's make
we
it,
would go back, well,
Well,
how,
it was-
did we find out how many have been wrong? Do we know?
Well, I don't know whether Keith has gotten all his stuff or not.
I got them today.
Okay.
But
So we know Pete was wrong, but that was squared away, that was taken care of. So Keith, I think is the only one that we have a concern with as far as call out goes.
Okay, so I say we work with them to rectify it,
Right.
yeah,
and then moving forward,
that's all right, cause it's never 10 minutes.
right, well, their time,
Yeah,
Their
it was
vehicles
just an
to
example.
drive in.
That's how it was worded to me
right,
back,
that's fine.
you
So-
know, that's what,
corrected.
there's a benefit, I mean, if they're called out for a little bit, the benefit is they get paid 2 hours
Yes.
minimum no matter what,
Yes,
but.
at
if
the
they have-
overtime rate.
Right, even if they, it was always lumped in with the 40-hour week, and then OT kicks
Right.
in.
As long as they're being called in after their on-duty hours. So if they punch out at 3 o'clock and we call them at 4, that would.
Now, if they're here at 3 and they work till 4,
Right.
that's
that-
just
That's
overtime.
just
That's
overtime.
just overtime.
That's just overtime no matter what.
But if, once they punch the clock and go home, or punch the clock, they don't have to go home, they punch the clock.
But
and
that's
they're-
not to change their current, so if, say it's the middle of the week and they stay till 4, is that technically overtime if you didn't get your full 40 hours in for the week? How's that work?
It's
So we're not changing any, whatever was in before,
right,
we're just making sure we know that where the
Anytime
call out
you
comes
get-
in.
Called in outside of your business hours,
Right, that's the call out.
that's a call out. Or you won't
Once
get
you
guys
left.
that show up.
no, well, nobody here's turning a time card in that doesn't have 40 hours. So those 2 hours, where I'm headed or confused is at the end of the week, if you work your regular 40, if you were called in 2 times in the middle of the week, it's still overtime.
Correct,
It would,
Well,
Yes.
the only way that would change in one person's mind is if you went home sick or called out today, and we call you in because you're the one on call, and she doesn't know that you called out sick, just saying, and you come in for that
yeah,
2
but he's
hours of
taking his sick
overtime.
leave, so he still has his 40 hours in,
Right.
so it wouldn't matter.
You're still paying.
Right, you're
I'm
still
just
paying
saying,
40 hours.
if you called out and you didn't, that would be a different circumstance.
the only time that it makes sense here is that sometimes they work over in a day, so they can leave a little early at the end of the week, to have their
Right.
40 in.
They still have their
As long as
40.
they have the, yeah,
But no matter what with call out, so
It's
what I'm
it's
understanding,
2
no
hours
matter
of,
what,
Yes.
minimum of
Yep.
2 hours overtime.
so that's how we want it
Plus-
written, no.
oh, minimum
2 hours overtime. So if they come in
2
for 3
hours.
hours, they get 3 hours of overtime.
Yes.
If they come in for 4 hours, they get 4 hours of overtime.
of, so that, it's an addendum that was made to the policy manual years ago, so.
That's fine, we can clean that, no problem.
Any other questions? Keith, you're good?
okay.
All right, township reports, administrators report, we have annual appointments document review. So on there, I had asked about putting Lori on for Park and Rec, and maybe having her attend the meetings. Is everyone okay with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
No, no problem.
All right, so then we'll need to discuss the meetings. So we used to pay out the last person, I think, what did we pay her to attend the meeting?
It was $50 a meeting.
is that still how you wanna handle that for attending a meeting, or do we wanna let her use comp time? Is that an option, or what are the options that are usually?
Honestly, I think they did $50, cause that's what Kelly had requested, so.
Okay, so that, okay.
You
How
know.
long's your meetings last?
Sometimes an hour, sometimes an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's fine for that amount.
Okay, so,
You know, it's not an exorbitant amount of time.
right, no,
Can she
no.
do the minutes then?
Yes, I think, yeah, that's why I
Thank
thought
you, Lord.
it would be easier if she did. Okay. Alright, so we'll update that, and then anything else you guys
Hang
come
on a
across, we'll
second.
need that for
I'm just,
you.
Lori would be non-uniform, she's gonna fall into that 2 hour, that'd be
It's not a call out.
still 2 hours.
It's not a call out, it's a scheduled appointment,
Right.
so that would be part of our scheduled work week, as long as she agrees to it.
You're paying an hourly rate to attend these meetings.
I'm thinking you're gonna pay her 2 hours for the meeting that she's attended, just to be, as a fairness, that way the meeting.
I mean, I don't know, bring it up,
That's
we
probably
can discuss.
That's pretty close.
Yeah,
I'd say it
That's
is,
pretty close. The amount.
I believe that's fair enough.
so do you wanna keep it at the 2 hours, paying her the hour, her hourly rate? Or the 50 per meeting? The cleaner would probably be an hour, her hourly
Yes.
rate, only because if she goes into a 2 hour meeting, then we'll pay her 2 hours, or if she
Yeah.
goes into an hour, we'll pay her an hour.
She's paying gas to come a second time that day.
Right, I know, that's,
Fairly New Standard Act probably would require it to be, I mean, it would be cleaner, as you
it's
said,
hourly,
the hourly rate, yeah.
okay, so we'll just pay her for her
We'll
time.
do that then.
Okay.
So you're doing 2 hours overtime like those guys?
You can pay a flat fee of 2 hours
She's working
At your-
full time, right?
at your hourly rate.
Do we have to pay, we would almost have to pay overtime.
It's,
I'm
well,
saying,
Well, if you have the same policy with these guys, I mean, coming out to the meeting.
First, just wanna be a call out, because call outs for emergencies, where they have to come in.
it'd be the same thing though, if she wanted
After
to
her-
It would be the
leave.
same thing
If she
after
wanted to
after
come
an
out,
hour.
Yes, it would
Right,
be.
so-
So it'll be 2 hours of overtime.
So basically, we're gonna allow her, if she wants to do it, use this comp time.
If
Yeah.
she wants it.
So if she wants the overtime, then she'll have to work her 40 hours plus do the meeting, and if she hits that 40, then it'll be time.
Or
and a half
on the
or
days
whatever
at the
overtime.
meeting, if she wants to go home 2 hours early to come back in for the meeting, I don't know what time the meetings are,
So we'll be flexible with that.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Okay, so on that day, if she wants to leave it,
Well, she can almost have to.
Well, yeah.
She works 40 hours. She works 40 hours, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
2 hours overtime. Might as well fall into the same, she's not uniform.
It'll come
But
out to the
we'll be
same rate
flexible,
anyway.
if she decides she wants to leave 2 hours early that day, and then just come back, that's not a big deal.
So we'll just pay her the 2 hours of overtime.
and be
just
done
like
with it.
Non-uniform.
Right, and be done
She's
with
over
it.
40,
That
she
way it's
can do
consistent.
overtime if she wants to leave this comp, she can
That way it's
just work
consistent.
leave early. Okay.
And there's not more to keep track of.
She really is 75, and
Butter
then
the toast.
Fair Labor Standard
I
20.
think 50 spot over here.
Did anyone see anything else they wanna discuss before the reorg? I mean, we'll be changing, we can change this stuff, but anything you want her to highlight or put on here in red that we wanna discuss at the reorg to change? If not, we'll do it that night at the reorg. Okay. Codification project update. So we're waiting, they need 18 more questions, was that right, 18? 18 or 19 more questions, Joan and Eric are working on those, and that's the update for that. Carnival update,
We won't meet till after the first of the year, but since our last regular meeting, I had 2 resignations, Frank and Terry resigned, so I wanna thank them for their time in the carnival. I appreciate everything you guys have done. Sorry to see you guys go. But yeah, we won't start getting together till after the first of the year.
okay. Maintenance department,
You have the one to report. The tree on Mass Road, there was a portion of Mass Road, I'm gonna use the word abandoned, I don't know how official that was, but there is still a right-of-way that traverses out through there, and there was two great big ash trees. One of them has fallen down across the creek. There is still a sanitary sewer line running through there. The trees, to the best of what I can see, they were originating out of the right of way. They're monsters, but they've been there since the road was abandoned in the early 70s. I'm looking for the board's approval for the Public Works to pull them out, get rid of them. And I'd like to get Davy Spar to cut that one that's still standing down. It's dead, but I'm gonna spend $150 in equipment to buy a new bar and chain to cut through that bugger, because it's huge, so I figured I'd just pay him to cut it.
But is that the sewer authority's easement?
That is an argument that you could take with it. It is, they do have an easement there. I'm rolling with it's still the township's right-of-way easement there.
Well, I'm just saying, have them pay for it if it's their right of way.
You can have them pay for all of it, or pay for the Davy Spar
Well, I
cutting
mean,
down part.
I know your antler's back there, but what else do we have to go back there for?
Well, I would like to see it out of the creek, because that's gonna cause more erosion to everybody else's, and since it originated in the township's right of way. I feel like you're gonna spend more money trying to get to the bottom line of where the abandonment went in 1974 when that bridge washed out, than you are just to go down there and pay Davey to cut it down and us to haul it to somebody that wants to burn some firewood. That's my take on it.
And the second part of that is that there's another part of that tree there that's still standing.
Well, I didn't look at it, I'm just
No,
saying,
I'm
it's
just
a
saying.
sewer easement, that should be their responsibility.
And
not ours.
Eric McCracken, they decided that they had 20 feet of an easement there.
Have they ever cleaned it since the tornado went through?
My aunt cleaned up her side of it. This is on her side. What's back Doc Fine is and back through on beyond where we really don't have any reason to go, no.
You know, if it's in the stream, I guess that's right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes, just
Let Davy's part do it and be done with it.
eliminate the problem.
Did we get a price?
I called him yesterday. He is already contracted to remove some trees down there, so, he said he wouldn't have a problem just dropping that one and walking away from it, and we'll clean it up.
Okay,
So,
all right.
I would expect it to be less than $500 to just cut it down.
So I'll make a motion to go ahead with that.
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Mulberry Court, HOA.
I had a phone call last evening from a lady, I believe she said Wykert Realty, I don't really know. Anyway, she assured me that she was gonna hold a conversation and start addressing some of the stuff on Mulberry Court. Part of the beginning of next year, I believe part of the organization should be getting fresh contacts for all of those HOAs that are in the community, so we have people to talk to when we have issues. So we don't have extended time to get responses from them.
Okay, SEO report. Library. Okay, so you have your monthly report, and then you should have received a request for financial assistance. Do you want to review that or watch the slideshow?
I reviewed it, but I didn't watch the slideshow.
Well, with that being said, they're asking for money now, but we already budgeted what we were gonna budget for them this year.
Can we take that out of the ARPA funds? Because they lost money due to COVID, their fundraising?
We can. So they're asking for what, 30,000?
I'm the vice president of the
Yes.
library trustee board, if you need to ask any questions.
Okay, so are you asking for $30,000?
Hi, I'm Cindy Lyon, the vice president of the trustee board. Amber O'Hara, she was sick tonight, she was supposed to do the presentation for you. Yes, we were looking for that to make up the shortfall that we had, because we have made a bare bones budget for next year, cutting out as much as we can. 80% of our funding comes from public sources, from the state, from the county, from your generous support of us and the other townships that support the library. We have doubled our fundraising efforts without a lot of success. We have been approaching local businesses, we've been holding fundraising events, and just it's, as the economy is, it's just not going well. We're looking at having to lay off staff that are already part-time and significantly reduce the library hours because we don't have enough operating budget. You've got a pretty new board now there at the library with more fundraising and business financial expertise on than the previous board. The previous board had a very ambitious amount for fundraising in the budget that we inherited when we came on the board that is not realistic in this economy, and so we have tried to meet that but have not been successful. So that's why with the COVID funds, we were hoping that we would qualify under that umbrella to regain some of that money so that we can keep our hours open and our staff are all part-time. It's not like we're funding that, and because of the location of the library, we like to at least be able to staff 2 people at a time so that nobody's in there alone for safety reasons.
Now the ARPA funds, what do we have left?
We might just have to take some time to review this.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the room over there, do you rent the other room out?
Yes, we have been, and we have promoting it, trying to make some more income that way.
Okay. And then all that money goes to the library?
Correct.
It's like 215,000.
Okay. All right, so I think we're gonna take a look at it and see what we can come up with, and
Okay, and we would love if we had the opportunity to move our presentation to the next board meeting, if you wanna hear the whole formal thing and can present that.
okay, that'll be January
Yeah.
second Wednesday.
That will flush it out a little bit more for you and give you
Okay.
some more information to go with it.
Okay.
Okay?
Is the basis for this due to COVID or due to the economy as it stands today?
Well, I think as we lost operations because of COVID, because the library had to be closed for a long time,
Yeah.
and we're starting, our circulation and has actually increased, our new patrons has increased, we're on an incline and we're doing very well as far as bringing people into the library. But the donations from patrons and the amount that we've been able to raise from fundraising does not meet the numbers that happened prior to the COVID shutdown.
Right, so from what I read, it was from, basically started with COVID, and this is catch-up money.
Right, and I think, the previous board was more optimistic about how the catch-up period would be, and it just hasn't panned out that way now with the change in the current economy.
Okay, then we have a security system on here.
Yes, that's, I think that's been discussed a couple times, I apologize, like I said, Ann was going to do this whole presentation, and I'm just kind of filling it at the last minute. We were looking for a security system, we have some blind spots, and we do, our staff are all women, and that location is a little remote over there, I mean, there is a neighborhood there, but and there's blind spots when you walk into the building, that anybody could come in and approach, and they would be well inside the building before anybody would know that they were there, if it was someone that might, have an ill intent and so that's what we really would like to, for our patrons and our staff safety, install a security system.
Okay, so basically, you're looking for permission to install the system.
I mean, we're trying to secure some grant funding so that we can do that.
Which brings us to the draft lease agreement. So did Eric go through the lease agreement?
He did not.
Okay, so we're waiting, so we need to first establish that.
Yeah, it's a requirement of some of the grants that we're
Yes.
applying for, that we have a formal
Okay, and then we can move forward and
Mhm.
discuss the other.
Yes.
Okay, was there anything else you need to add?
No, do you have any other questions for me?
Anybody have questions right now, or? No? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We gonna move that to the next meeting?
Yes, okay. Tax collector report, police report.
You have the monthly report before you, 480 calls for service for the month. 46 violations for various traffic, 18 criminal arrests, over 6,337 miles on patrol. Again, busy month with various items going on. Again, issues at Morgan Corporation, which we are working diligently with them, trying to ratify some issues there. We did work the gun show. We also worked with the school district on a lockdown drill at the high school. We have one officer left, and that will be completing their firearm training next week. And that we'll have all of our firearms and respect training done for the year. Again, continuing to be busy. We received some reimbursement from the Berks County Drug Task Force for the detectives' hours that were before, and we also received money reimbursement for us being at the gun show. So with that.
The Morgan Way traffic concerns, did you cover what?
So basically, last Thursday, Mr. Whiteman Senior, Scott Anderson, and myself met with officials from Morgan Corporation. Prior to that, Scott Anderson, Keith McGowan, and myself had already met. They have concerns in reference to changing of the speed limit, updating the signage for the crosswalks that are in place, bringing them up to code. They had some other concerns dealing with safety issue with the farm lot, which we've addressed that with them. So I think it's gonna be a work in progress. They also misunderstood. They were under the impression that the Morgan Way Bridge was getting closed. So we explained to them that no, it's not being closed, but all the traffic may come that way. So it's a work in progress. I'll be meeting with Keith and Scott to work on a plan of, for the crosswalks and looking at the speed limit, possibility of updating that to the current code and stuff like that. So that will be something probably next month we'll have.
Okay, police car replacement.
I've talked to the police liaisons. As you all know, that the police vehicle replacements are extremely short-handed. We could be looking at a year out at this point, not 6 months out. What I would like to have permission, I did budget for 2023 to replace the 2016 Dodge Charger, which has close to 90-some thousand, that's starting to give us some issues. What I would like to do is get permission from the board of supervisors to place the order for the car, knowing that it's not coming anytime soon, but it puts us in line with the car dealer, the CoStar, to have the price from New Holland Auto Group for the vehicle, just to get in line so that when cars start to show up, Ford actually canceled the balance of 2022 police car packages that were on order for agencies. So now people are running and trying to buy 2023. They've also shut down the 2023 ordering. So it's going to create a problem. I mean, luckily we're in a better state, but you get a department where they may have 1 or 2 cars and their car goes down, they have a problem. You know, they may not get a car for a year. So I'm just trying to get permission for replacement. It would be for a 2023 Ford utility Interceptor under the CoStar pricing.
The 38,000.
38,000. Excuse me.
And they'll honor that price, they'll hold that once you order?
Yes, basically as soon as we order, and would just put us again in line, so it could be 3, 6, a year before we see.
And we have that money set aside.
That is
so
in
we
the
wouldn't have
budget
to
for
finance.
2023.
So, anybody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a move.
Have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Thank you.
Tow policy review for revisions.
I spoke with, again, police liaisons on Monday. There's some stuff I would like to tweak. That policy was drafted before I came here in 2021. I would like to bring and make some changes. I've reviewed some of the things with Paul Senior and Keith. I wanna talk to Eric about them and update the policy, make some changes. One of the things, the way it is that we are tweaked, or the way it was written with the mileage and some of the other stuff. We have people that are leasing properties that are right on the border, but their main office is out of the area. So I just wanna tweak it and make sure that we are in the process, so that we don't, hamstring ourselves for not having adequate protection for the
Okay.
township for removal.
Zoning code enforcement officer. Monthly report, and I guess nothing on Morgantown garage, parking lot. EMS. Fire department. Park and rec. Terry, did you have anything to add?
I wasn't able to attend the last meeting because I
Okay.
was, traveling for work, but, read through the minutes. I didn't think that we had anything extra, that we
Okay.
needed this month. There wasn't anything I know on the request list.
Okay, yeah, it looks
Anything
like
new, it's all the
everything
old
was
stuff.
responded to under, okay, getting quotes, under review, okay, so it looks like that's all.
Yeah, we had approved the quote that they had approved the quote that he would
For-
send over for the,
Playground equipment.
Number 3,
Lions recreation,
no, I thought it was for the ball diamond. We approved the
Defense.
quote for materials presented at the November meeting. That's the quote for Laurel Hill Construction.
well, that quote was a year old, or better than a year old, so I think we're gonna go back to looking at getting current pricing for the work.
Okay.
Number 3 is on this agenda, was my doing. There's some pieces over here at the Friendship Park that, there's corners broke off of some of that stuff, and it's not new, but if I ordered them from Lions Recreation, it's not absurd for it to take 6 months for me to get them.
So was that presented at the, was that provided at the last month's meeting?
No, we-
Okay,
Supervisor Fritz and I looked at that one day when we were out, when he was working
yeah,
here,
it
and he
needs fixed.
suggested
Got it.
that I bring it to the board, and
was it, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
I'm
hazard.
sure it was probably on the,
it's been on your monthly, or on your
Okay.
annual reports
Okay.
several times.
Alright, so I just need a motion for, it's 2,524, and that'll fix all the broken corners and stuff.
I'll make the motion.
I'm gonna ask that, I don't know whether shipping was in his quote, so I'm gonna say, how about we get that to,
Freight, $250.
oh, is it in there?
It's in there.
Cause I was just gonna say if we made that a $3,000 motion in case he comes up with something funny, not to exceed.
Anybody want-
Second, make a motion.
Motion
on
and a
3,000.
second. All those in favor for 3,000,
Aye.
there was, I remember the last meeting that we were at, there was a discussion on what was gonna happen with the ball fields and the organization, and Paulie, I think someone was gonna reach out to Ryan Rhodes and.
Yeah, I don't think that happened yet.
Okay.
I actually just got introduced to the new people that took over for, it's not the Babe Ruth League, something. Jay Oliver contacted me and introduced me to these people via text message. So after the first year, we're gonna sit down and have a meeting. When that meeting actually comes up, I'll invite, Keith, I want you to be a part of it, someone from Parks and Rec should be there, so we can go over that. But then we can finalize that whole MAA, Twin Valley, whatever you wanna call it, contract.
Okay.
Okay, then we have community Christmas event sponsors 2022. Lowe's, Lights for the Tree, Wawa, 250 coupons for free hot beverage, Walmart gift card to purchase supplies, Sheets donation to purchase supplies, Weaver's Orchard apple cider, Twin Valley Coffee, Aaron McMullen's Santa Village and Santa mailbox, and cleverly designed electrical supplies.
I think they all did a wonderful job.
They
Yeah,
did.
can we send
Very
a letter
nice.
thanking them all?
Yeah, Lori sent me a note saying she was sending those out. She sent me a note today saying she was sending the thank you letters out.
Sign it here in the hallway, thanking the.
Yeah, that was over the,
Yes,
she
it's
had made
printed
that
up
up for the event.
Any updates on the security?
The
in the
park security system was installed last week.
Yeah, I noticed that, I thought the whole reason we put that panel on the other side of the field is so they could put a 360 camera on that.
It's on the left field,
Yes.
it's on the left field.
So what, now in the middle of the carnival ground?
There will be another camera, but the original plan put the one over there because that would allow, that was their recommendation to give you the best
So one's
view.
going there?
There will be, phase two would call for another camera on that,
Okay.
on that field over
Because I
there.
know
on
that's
that
why we
pole.
put it there and I didn't see one up there.
Yes.
I went into the hot dog stand, noticed there was a camera staring me in the face, so. Then when I went up to the stage, I noticed there was a trench dug across, so.
Yeah, that stuff is in it, and I have to get an email and evite out to Paul and his department so we can get trained on how to do those cameras.
And then there'll be an app that we can tap into, right?
That's what that's the training.
Okay, because I'd like to be put on that because the bottom, building there was vandalized. Someone broke the lock. I straightened it out because I had to get a trash can out of there the night of the tree light.
Well,
But someone tried to get in there.
we can certainly do that, and that's the training that,
Someone left the light on there in the other building close to the hot dog stand too, so I don't know, were they in there for any reason?
I unlocked a bunch of stuff. Pete unlocked a bunch of stuff, so
No, a light was left on, I turned it on.
I don't think, I just, they are up, they were installed.
Someone, I assume you guys all know, someone stole the, trail cam that had been placed over there on the tree.
Yeah, Cole put a trail camera up in a tree to just so he can cover we didn't have the cameras
village.
yet.
The
But with
village.
all the buildings over there that Aaron put up, and, Dave, who decorated the tree, he noticed he was gonna change the battery in it, someone stole it. So he made a police report, so, they're still trying, did they find out, did they ping it to find it?
Nope.
They were trying to do that, I know that.
Not yet.
What are we doing with all the houses that they've made for us?
She was supposed to pick them up today, she's storing
They
them.
were still over there today yet, but I think they may be over there picking them up
I know
now.
she made mention online that it was gonna be done today, so.
Yeah.
She's storing them till next year and she's asking for more,
Cool.
so.
Planning commission minutes. Water sewer reports. Engineers report.
We had made one payment for the street work. Let me dig this up real quick, to New Enterprise. They had come in and fixed the issue with the drainage they had on Maple. Now that they've done that, with the money we had retained, we're recommending they release, we're recommending payment of the final payment to be $4,168.28. It's $1,000 short of what we retained, but the $1,000 was gonna go towards just trying to redo the line striping on, a road or two that they kind of just got too many, marks on it. And they should've came in repainted, but it was just time of year they couldn't do it. So we just deducted $1,000 from it. So looking for we're recommending the board pay New Enterprise a final payment of $4,168.28.
I'll make the motion.
Motion and second, all those in favor? Aye.
160 Willow Glen, that's on hold. There's one other thing I just wanted to touch on. Oh, at the intersection, we talked about Main and 401, there is the dairy farm there that's proposing changes. They're adding that, I think Terry had sent out an email just kind of giving some information about it. But they're proposing a leg, basically a driveway to come down as a fourth leg to that intersection. They need PennDOT approval. They don't have anything in front of the township to have us just go ahead and discuss this with them. I'm asking for the board to authorize contacting them, asking them to pay for, any consultant services associated with the PennDOT review, because we should be at the meeting if they have a scoping meeting on that. To discuss
Across
that.
from 401.
A driveway literally to come in as a fourth leg at that
Yeah.
intersection.
Well, there's our red light.
No, and that question has come up. If they do that, they're gonna look at this, and the first thing they're gonna do is evaluate if it meets warrants. And if it
As
meets
busy as
warrants,
that intersection is, I find it hard to believe the state's gonna allow a road to be straight across from there.
I agree, and I think at the most, part of the conversation can be here, if you're gonna introduce a fourth leg to the intersection, please understand if a signal's coming in, anything to do with that leg of the intersection is for you.
Right.
And that would be expected to be
Can
a
you imagine
contribution.
pulling trucks and
Try to be
tractors out of
So they're looking to make if the traffic's going eastbound, to make a left into there then?
Their improvements would be,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah,
they'd have to
Well,
clear
they'd have
that
to-
hill.
They'd have to put a left-hand turn
That's,
lane.
yeah, that whole intersection, I would think, would have to be redone.
Yeah, but have to change everything.
and they'd be on the hook for those improvements, and
so
if there's a signal, we can say the fourth
Yeah,
way.
they got a
They're gonna
grant,
have to
they got a
do.
grant, correct?
They did.
They got a grant or
before,
something
but
for the work that they're doing, but, I mean, wonder if that covers part of that?
This is an expansion of the operation. I mean, I think it was a huge digester building that's gonna have 25 trucks a day coming in out of there, is what they said.
Well, then they're gonna have to do something with
There's
that.
gonna have
Yeah.
to be, they can't.
But
pull
where,
trucks
the part I just wanted to say though is if they do this study, their traffic engineer is gonna look at it and say, you currently meet the need for this, so the bulk of the cost is gonna be argued, township's gonna pay for that. You need it right now. If that study's done, that's the slippery slope I was saying, is when they look at that and they do that, then PennDOT's gonna say, well, the clock starts, you guys need a signal in there, but these guys may have improvements they need to do, you still have to start approaching this and looking at this, so. That's
But we're
part of
already
it.
in talks about that, though, but if they wanna add an extra loop there with the 25 trucks, that should be on them, 'cause
Yeah, a lot of the intersection improvements, if they're required, which you're gonna have trucks coming in and out of there, they're gonna have something that allows for safe turns, so yeah, that's
Left
gonna be a
turn
lot of
and right
improvement.
turn lane.
So what you're saying,
It's a
Scott, is
state
that
road.
the township's going to be on the hook for putting the light in?
For a portion of getting that,
but for
Signal
maintenance
in
and
there.
whatnot, like agreements we have with other ones, that would be where that falls in, correct?
for some of it, yes. For that fourth
Why
leg,
didn't you bring this up when we brought this up, Rob? See, you showed up late
Is
for
there
the
anything
damn
else?
thing.
my engineer's report was it. So, I would look for the board to authorize my coordination with them to move forward on that.
Solicitor, anything?
Yeah, we have, you have Eric's report, that you reviewed, there's a few things, I count 4, that we need to talk about in executive session.
All right, we're gonna adjourn for executive.